Hey, what's happening, people? How y'all doing? Welcome to another episode of Messages in the Madness with yours truly, Vernon Longhorn Davis. I'm here, you're here. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me, and I appreciate that. Happy Sunday to you. I hope you had a great and fabulous and wonderful week. I hope you got a great, fabulous, wonderful week going forward, planned, because guess what? It is what it is. We all here, so we might as well enjoy it. Shout out to everybody that's on the wow. Got quite a few people watching tonight. So shout out to everybody that's watching. I'm gonna go through my list in a minute. I'm just kind of excited about being here today. I am. Yeah, I'm excited. So let's look into our magic mirror and see what we see. Let's see. Hey, Miss Coley. Hope you're doing well. Hey, Pumpkin Princess. Good to see you. Miss Annette out in Arizona. Great to see you. Hey, Miss Annette. How you doing, Miss Annette? Hey, brother Roger. Great to see you and Jaden. I hope everything is well there. Hey, Marion, right around the corner. Anna, good to see you. Very good to see you. Baby sis, what's happening? She said, Happy Sunday. Madness fam. She calls it Madness fam. I like that. Madness fam. Yeah, let's get motivated. Hey, Miss Charlotte, brother James, good to see you. I just glad to see everybody, man. It's been a heck of a week. Woo. I traveled this week. I was in Detroit and Kalamazoo and Toledo, Ohio on purpose, day job stuff. Weatherman put up on the news that it was the same temperature in Detroit as it was in Anchorage, Alaska. I'm not built for that. I'm sorry. I don't care. I'm not built for that. Um, man, you talking about cold. And I had on my silk long johns and everything. I still wasn't ready. I was not ready. Brother Brad, good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Hey, Mary Lou, thanks for stopping in. But now, brother was not ready for this kind of cold. It's a whole different kind of cold. But hey, it is what it is. Got out, didn't have any shows this week, but I did get out and went and saw a show last night. Saw my dude Willie Lynch Jr. and K Dub, yes, Kelly Walker out of Atlanta. Great show, great guys. Hung out with them a little bit. Everything was good. I know it's cold all over the country, but hey, man. So guess what I've done today? I have stayed in the house. Yeah, I stay. I mean, I moved my car. That was it. That's all I've done. It's just like that. But I do want to say there's supposed to be an ice storm coming. I hope it doesn't come your way. I know it's coming our way. Everybody be safe. Can we do that? Work on that for us, okay? So let's see. Baby sis says, didn't you say you had some news to tell us something you couldn't talk about last week? Okay. Yeah, I'll talk about it because I actually had to deal with it this week. I wrote a pretty good piece about Martin Luther King Day and the meaning of diversity, inclusion, and equity, and how there's various people, unsung heroes from history and from around the world, past and current, who are champions for diversity, equality, and inclusion. Well, the big news that I was going to share with you all was that I was told that it was going to be shared with what I wrote was going to be shared with 6,000 people in the company that I work with. Well, it didn't happen. No, it didn't happen. So I was a little bummed about that. I can share it. I was thinking about sharing it, even though Dr. King Day is over. I could share it with you guys if you'd like to read it. Let me know. Maybe I'll post it up somewhere. But I did a little research on it, and yeah, it was a pretty good piece, if I do say so myself. So, but hey, Jerry Davis, good to see you. Watching KC hopefully lose. No, it's not gonna happen, Jerry. KC, that's my number 2 team. Dallas is out. KC's got to go all the way. But so brother Jerry talking to us over there on Facebook. Sometimes he checks in from LinkedIn. Mary says you did better than me. I started my car with the remote in the garage from the kitchen. Well, it's kind of my car is kind of an older car, so I don't have the remote start. I ain't fancy like you, but we got there. And the net I will share. Just because you said so, I will share it. Okay. Sorry, I'm a Broncos fan. Jerry, I understand. God forgives. He does. So we're gonna bless you and your Broncos. How about that? I can't say I've ever been a fan of the Broncos, but I did watch them when Shannon Sharp was playing. I like Shannon Sharp. So baby sis says, please post it. All right, we'll get to that. And thank you, James. James says, great job anyway. Brother Andy, good to see you out there in Indiana. That's where you at. Glad to see you, brother, and enjoy your message on inclusion. Thank you very much. I haven't seen you on my timeline lately, so I hope baby girl is doing well. You know, I've watched her since she was a little bitty girl, so I know she's big girl doing big things now. So let's get into the message because I'm just running my mouth. The message tonight is called, what is the message tonight? That's just bad. Life is prepared you. Life has made you ready for today. I guess I'm kind of not ready at the moment. But before I get into the message, do me a favor. Hit like, love, maybe even share the message. Just let me know that you've been here. There's 20 people watching. I'm only showing 7 likes and love. So give me a like, a love, frowny face. Give me something. Let me know that you stopped by. Okay. And if you love the message, please take a minute and share it for me. I greatly appreciate that. But tonight, like I say, the message tonight is life has made you ready for today. And what that came from is just from everyday life for me. Actually, I've delivered this message before, and I'm not going to deliver the same message in its entirety, but I did want to revisit this because I've been talking to, well, you guys know I talk to people on a regular basis. And it seems like people are just going through things and they're wringing their hands and holding their head and praying like I've never seen them do before. And I talked to another comedian, very good comedian friend of mine, and I'll say brother, and he was telling me about his current health situation, if you will, without me getting into his personal business. And I had to remind him that, man, you already ready for this. There's nothing in your life that has not happened to you that has not prepared you for this moment in your life. And you're going to be able to handle this. Matter of fact, I referred to a couple of other comedians who have some challenges, but are still enjoying a very lucrative comedy career. Like, for instance, Andy, I mentioned you to him. I mentioned Brett Eastburn. I mentioned a young man that's going to open for me next week, well, next month in Poplar Bluff, who's blind. And they're doing very well with comedy despite their challenges. And we all have challenges in life, but we're prepared for them, whether we believe it or not, whether we realize it or not. And sometimes we don't realize that we were prepared for it until that situation has come and then it is gone. And often we're nervous about it, we're wringing our hands about the situation. And then when the situation, because we see it coming, then when it gets there and we go through it, we're like, man, that wasn't so bad after all. I was already ready. I already had the answers. I was ready to move forward with this. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight because life is crazy. And this is a crazy ride that we call life. And life has kind of been secretly prepping us for whatever we're dealing with right now. So let's get into it. So, oh, I see my likes and what likes went up and my loves went up. I appreciate that, y'all. Jerry says, I have been there. I amped myself up only to find the situation is not that bad. I remember I was coaching football, and there was this thing. When I got upset, the kids knew I got upset because I'd throw my hat. That was my thing. I'd throw my hat. It was a straw hat, but I'd throw my hat, and I coached for 11 years. So one day, a young man walked up to me. I was upset with the boys because they just wasn't doing what they were supposed to do. He's little league. And the young man looked at me. He said, "Coach Vernon, did it stop you from breathing?" He said, "I see you upset, but did it stop you from breathing?" I'm like, "No, it didn't." He said, "Then it wasn't that serious." From the mouth, I've never forgotten that. Never. But there are a lot of things in your life that you have taught, that if you have been taught, that prepare you for whatever is happening in your life today. It is, every tough thing we're going through, every time we've messed up, it's all been a learning experience. It's been teaching us. take it from me. My time in the army taught me how to be cool under pressure. Being a comedian, being standing in front of people that don't know me from a can of paint and invoking an emotion from them. Being a father, a husband, a grandfather. All of these things have taught me life lessons. Going through a divorce, raising kids, and not really knowing what the hell I was doing, just being honest. I knew I was a bad cook, but I didn't know I was that bad of a cook until my kids got older and they told me. So speaking of such, my son just popped in, Mr. Triz Davis of Vernon the Third. Y'all know him as Trey. Brother, hey son, brother Jerry said I toss my glasses on the desk. That's my I need a moment move. I do it too because I do it too. But life as a teacher, our past, our lessons from our past have got us prepared for today. Anything that's going on in your life is prepared you for it. The other day I applied. No, I take that back. This recruiter contacted me about a job, and I responded back, and they, oh, you look good. This looks great, and this is this, and that's that, and we think and then they go, well, where did you go to college at? I'm like, do you have a 4-year degree? I'm like, no, not one that I can prove, and that was it. That was the end of it. And it would have been a life changing position for me. But life taught me how to handle that regret, how to handle that disappointment, how to handle that letdown, because that's what life does. Life teaches us how to deal with the great and deal with the bad as well. When our daughter went through her surgery situation, I was as stoic and as I know as I wasn't me. I was a me that y'all don't see. Yeah, I laughed a little bit, joked a little bit, and kept working. But at the same time, I was worried, I was concerned, but I had to keep that straight face. And then as things progressed, I realized that I had already been prepared for this moment because this wasn't the first time she'd been sick. This hadn't the first time she was in the hospital. But we were more prepared than what I thought I was because life has been a fantastic teacher, not only for me, but for you as well. Life has taught you how to handle the ups, the downs, how to taught you how to handle the in betweens from point A to point C and everything that happens in there. Life has taught you that nothing is nothing really happens unlike you thought it would. Sometimes we do get surprised. And I want to touch on this other point before I go to the next one. Life also just teaches us that there's nothing new under the sun. What you're going through, yeah, my son, that's the reason I got my microphone pulled down because my heater is right above my head. So when it kicks on, it kind of kicks out my microphone. But what you've gone through, you're not the only one that's been through it. Somebody else has been through it also. But we're going to get into that. So my son said, you taught me to cook some good dishes. Really? Lemon pepper. Okay, yeah, my lemon pepper chicken. All right, my lemon pepper chicken is pretty good. So James says fear is usually worse than the reality. That is so true. I'm gonna pull my microphone a little closer. Hopefully, the sound will stay better. But yes, you're right, James. Fear is usually worse than the reality. What we fear the most, usually the worst thing that we fear is in our head. So good. Fear is a horrible, horrible thing, but it's very real. So we all have a diversity of experiences. a diversity of our own experiences. We play so many roles in life, and each one adds something unique to who we are, and what we will be. You know, I've gone from being a soldier to the corporate world, and even like I said, on the comedy stage. It's like having a bunch of different tools in your belt, never knowing which one you're going to need. And that is so, so true. Matter of fact, I know one young lady who was was sergeant major over a battalion, which is a lot of people, and they go from that to being a school teacher. So you go from this to this, and that particular person had to take their knowledge and experience, their diversity of experiences, and transform it from this scale to this scale. And even though that first day when they walked into that classroom, they may not have thought that they were ready, but everything that they had learned, they brought with them. They had it in their toolbox, and they were able to reach into that toolbox and pull out the tools that they needed to do what needed to be done because of our diversity of our experiences. So Jerry says, our pride and ego get in the way of seeing the message at times. Yes, it does. Because we're doing this, Jerry. We're like this instead of being like this. And we're doing this and we're just looking at what's in front of us instead of doing this and looking down and looking into our box of tools and experiences and knowledge and utilizing what we have to move forward. Life has taught us a lot. Yeah. I don't care how old you are, life has taught us a lot and has prepared us to do many great things. But we have to trust what we have learned and be willing to bring that forward into our current experience so that we can continue to move forward. So Roger says sometimes fear keeps you from happy reality because you never know how it will transpire. Real talk, you're right. Things in life are for reasons and for seasons. And one thing that I have learned to do, because see, I had all these expectations, is just enjoy the moment. However long that moment lasts. Be happy. Enjoy it. Love it. Appreciate it. Whether it's 10 seconds or 10 years. Appreciate what you got. Just like every time I come to Quincy and I see you and Jaden. I may not be able to sit down and talk to y'all for a long period of time, but I enjoy when I see you guys. When I see Mary Lou, I enjoy the time that when I see her and Terry, I enjoy that. My son is saying that our youngest granddaughter, Autumn, is giving me kisses because she sees me on his phone. And whether I spend 5 minutes with that child or 10 days with that child, I appreciate the time that I'm able to spend and love that time for what it is. Because as we say on this show all the time is your most precious commodity, and so is your happiness. And we don't know how long either one of those are going to last. So you might as well dig in with both spoons and just get as much of the goodness as you can and enjoy it while you can, brother. This is some real talk. So Stray says, you learned a lot because you're really old. I'm not that old. Anna said you gotta trust God. Yes, there's a lot to that statement, more so than you think. Um, so thank you for the amen. Annette says, I need to quit making some mistakes and time is precious. Well, you know what, Annette? If you stop mistakes, the only time, you know when you're going to stop making mistakes? When you stop living. Keep living. Keep making mistakes. Keep learning. Because a mistake is just you learning a new way on how not to do that or old way. Mistakes are meant to happen. That's how we live, and that's how we learn, and that's how we get better. So Jerry says, time is never promised. Enjoy the ride and the view. You're, I couldn't say it best. So there's power in perspective. The way we look at things can really change the game. It really can change the game. I've learned to find something to laugh about even when things get rough. I mean, yes, and I know I laugh at some inappropriate times because my brain just works a little differently. And quite frankly, sometimes I need to laugh at something in order for me to remember it. And sometimes I'll laugh out loud, or sometimes I just laugh in my head. But you got to lighten up in life. And sometimes you got to look at things through that different perspective. And I know they say perspective, people's perspective is their reality. And that is so, so true because people believe what they're going to believe. I don't care what you write, what you write, what you print, what pictures you show, what videos. People's perspectives is that's their reality. But I have to look at life through a different lens because yes, life is tough and it can be tough. But I've had to learn to just laugh sometimes. Sometimes things are just so rough and just so hard. You can't do nothing but just let out a laugh to keep from crying because the laughter is a better alternative. Yeah. It's like looking at life through different lenses. Sometimes you just need to find, yeah, that funny side of it. So let's see. And that says, Amen. Mary says, sometimes you just got to live in the moment. The moment is so awesome, Marion. Oh my God. Some of my best jokes I have done on stage, I created in that moment. And I didn't even write them down, but they were funny as hell when they happened. And guess what? My perspective, I think that that's just exactly where they was meant to live, was right there in that moment. That was made just for them, for the people who was watching. It was made for them and me because I got a chance to deliver it. Roger says, make mistakes, lessons learned from them. Yes. And if you don't learn from your mistakes, you're going to do it again and again until you learn. Sorry, I never made scrambled eggs in the oven, but I know it's possible. It just takes a long time. It's a lot quicker on top of the stove. Charlotte, Miss Charlotte, one of my favorite people in the world, says, laugh to keep from crying sometimes. I've done that more times than I care to admit, Miss Charlotte. That's the truth. Like the job that I was overly qualified for, but I didn't have that one piece of paper. I just laugh. I couldn't do nothing but laugh and say, hey, you know what? Thank you for even contacting me. I appreciate it. And she goes, why are you laughing? I said, to keep from cussing. Truth. Jerry says, F first, A attempt, INL learning. Yeah, that's what it is. You're absolutely right. That, you know what? You're right, Jerry. You need to focus that lens on faith, but you'd be you'd be surprised how many people are not people of faith. More than you know, more than you think. Matter of fact, I'll challenge anybody that's watching this show tonight. If you are a person of faith, just put a heart into the chat. If you believe in a higher power other than yourself, just put a heart into the chat and you'll see, Jared. There's 13 people watching this broadcast right now that I can see. I don't know who's watching elsewhere. But you'd be surprised how many people are not of faith. But if you're a person of faith, just put it into the little chat box. Put a little heart right there, and you'll see. Um, Annette, she says your perspective is from a good heart. I'll be honest with you about something, Annette. I like to believe that I've always had a good heart, but life has done. There's some things that have happened to me in my life that could have very well pushed me in another direction. Yeah. So I like to thank you for saying that. But things do happen to us in life. Life experiences do push us and move us and mold us. And sometimes they harden us and soften us. And we're like like concrete. After a while, we become like concrete. We've been molded and moved and shaped and reformed. And then finally we harden into the shape that we are. And I've been fortunate that my heart did not harden into a stone. And I like to believe that my heart is still as pliable as gold. And gold is very pliable. It's firm, but it's not completely solid. And it still allows me to be good to people and allow people to be good to me. It allows me not to allows me not to shape the opinion that everybody's out to get me or do something wrong to me. I've had more help from people that I didn't know than people I do know. I found out the other day that my name has been spoken in rooms by other people, and I'm not even in the room. And I think that all comes from having a decent heart. Yeah. Thank y'all for the hearts, the few hearts I've seen there. And then Jerry says, I have always had a good heart, but the tongue of the devil. I did a show already about that with Jerry about the power of your words. Your words do have a lot of power. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna get back to the rest of the message. This week I was working in Michigan, and I had to stop and think and laugh to myself because I'm like, this is my fault. It is my fault that I am in Michigan. It's snowing. Is the wind chill factor is -20, and I'm in Michigan because I said for about 3, 4 years ago that I appreciate and love my job, but I did not want to work north of Chicago in the winter. Matter of fact, I rarely will book a show north of Chicago in the winter because I am terrified of being stuck in a snowstorm and being stranded. Well, I spoke it out loud, Jerry, and guess what? That's where I've been working at lately. There's power in the tongue. So, going back to our message that you are prepared, life has made you ready for today. Connecting with others is really huge. It's our shared humanity. Being there for each other, understanding what someone else is going through is huge. It's big. It's gigantic. It's ginormous. In my life and work, doing the suicide prevention speeches and even the suicide prevention phone calls that I don't talk about, I've seen how just being there for someone can make a big difference. I remember I was working in Tennessee at one of my locations, and there was a young man there, and he was working in the shop in the service department, And he said, "Hey, Mr. Vernon, I'm getting married today on my lunch break at City Hall, and I really don't have a lot of people that I can ask to come be a witness for me. Would you do that for me?" I'm like, "Sure." And I stood there as a witness, signed off as a witness. And matter of fact, I drove him to the courthouse and we had a little ceremony and drove him back to work. And I still hear from that young man from time to time because that was a connection that we made. It made a big difference to him. So empathy and sympathy are huge. And these are things that you have been taught in your life, and it's been taught to you, and it has made you ready to be a more empathetic and sympathetic person for those that you meet. I'm a big fan of resilience, the the human spirit is resilient. It's resilient to the fault. Resilience is all about that tough as nails spirit that helps us bounce back. I've seen it everywhere. In the army, my day job, on stage, giving speeches, selling books, hanging out with my kids and grandkids. I've also seen it when a joke didn't land the way I wanted it to, but I had to keep going. I had to keep going forward because that is resilience. It's about picking yourself up and keep going. You got to keep going. When the fit hits the shan, you got to keep going. And these are the things that life has taught you. I don't care if you're 30 or 70. These are the things that life has taught you to be resilient. When the chips are down, stack them back up and keep playing. So we wrapping up, y'all. But just remember this: life's craziness isn't just random. It's not. Every good thing that happens to you, you've had something to do with it. You've had a quarter in that dollar. And every unfortunate thing, not every, I won't say every, but some of the less fortunate things that happen to us in our lives, we've had a dime in that quarter. Something along the way that we did or did not do. And we have to own those things. But life's craziness isn't just random. It's not. It's full of lessons, wisdom, strength. We're more ready for whatever life throws at us than we might think. We all think that we know how tomorrow is going to go and we got a plan for it. But as they say, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plan. If you want to hear God laugh, tell him your plan. And then he'll tell you his. Won't tell you, he'll show it to you. And it's happened to me more times than I even care to imagine. I know we like to say in the community, won't he do it? He'll do it. And when he do it, you be like, what in the entire box of Crayolas just happened? But he does it. So Jerry says, every good James 1:17, every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of the heavenly lights, who does not change like shifting shadows. A lot of truth to that, brother Jerry. There really is. So that's the message for tonight, y'all. You are ready for whatever's ahead of you. You got all the tools. You know what to do. You know how to handle it. And you can do it. And you will. And you're going to help somebody else to get through it too. So just a reminder, every part of life, every part of your life, even the messy parts, has a purpose. So y'all stay strong, stay inspired, and don't forget to laugh, man. Don't just laugh. Sometimes just laugh just because you want to. So, any other comments over there in the box, y'all, tonight? I just want to thank everybody that's watched from all over the country. I thank y'all and thank y'all for the hopes and prayers for Nisha. She's I posted on I shared her post, but she's doing pretty well and very, very happy about that. So, but guys, as y'all go into your week, just remember you're ready for it. You were born ready. So, yep, I'll see you in Quincy, Roger. Looking forward to it. You have a blessed week. Baby sis, thanks for the good message. Have an awesome week. Love you too. Love y'all. Love all y'all. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. So I'm going to go finish watching the game. As I always say, well, this has been another episode of Messages in the Madness with yours truly, Vernon Longhorn Davis. Take care of yourself, love yourself, respect yourself. Take care of them kids. Love them kids. Give them a hug from me. Respect our vets. Yeah, you ready. You're ready. God bless y'all, man. $2.